Well, it looks a lot different with everybody in here from when we were practicing earlier. All right. Good evening, and thanks to everyone for coming out here tonight. We are here to share our story of our daughter, Astella. I am Jake Kurtz, and I was volunteered to help speak tonight by my wife, Andi Jo. I am a real estate agent, and my wife is a hairstylist, but the job we're most proud of is being parents to our 1-year-old daughter, Astella.
I still remember that first ultrasound. After a long and emotional journey to conception, we looked at the screen in amazement. We couldn't wait to find out if it was a boy or a girl. Then we got the news every hairstylist dreams of. It's a girl. We were overjoyed, but we noticed the tech just left the room without saying a thing. I nonchalantly said to Jake, that was strange, but he was still in shock about having a girl. We soon met with the doctor, and our joy turned to fear. Our baby girl had a birth defect. Her intestines were outside of her body. The doctors went into details, but Jake and I just stared dumbfounded. We were referred to the best place he knew of, the Midwest Fetal Care Center. We didn't know what to expect at our first appointment, but we quickly learned that her condition was worse than we expected. The liver, all of her intestines, and her stomach was outside of her body. She didn't even have an abdominal wall. We were filled with fear.
We started going to the Midwest Fetal Care Center weekly to monitor our baby's health. Our surgeon, Dr. Brad Feltis, neonatologist, Dr. Ellen Bendenstenzel, our nurse care coordinator, Shannon Van Brunt, and many others quickly became our care team. They were so responsive to the many questions we had along the way.
Astella's case was very serious and very unique. Before she even was born, our doctors talked with colleagues across the country to get second opinions. No one had seen anything like it. In fact, many said we had little, if any, chance to survive. We weren't going to give up, and neither was our team.
They began developing a care plan for her months before she was born. Ultimately, they needed to cover up her organs. They explored everything from surgery to skin grafts. They came up with a plan where they would actually grow skin over her organs, something that has never been done before. It was just a matter of waiting for her to be born.
We finally made it past the 28-week mark. And Astella was big enough that if she decided to come, the doctors would at least have a chance to help her. I was hoping she'd wait a little bit longer. The mother-baby center was just weeks away from opening. Their high-tech delivery room was just feet away from the NICU, so I wouldn't have to be separated from my daughter once she was born. On February 23rd, 2013, is a day that we will never forget. Our baby was ready to make her debut, and the mother-baby center was open. We were quickly moved into an emergency C-section. Our heads were spinning, but we knew our team had carefully been planning her birth for months.
Astella was born weighing a healthy 4 pounds and 14 ounces. I was a dad, and boy was I proud. Immediately our care team got to work, and her 5 long hours had passed. Finally, the surgeon came up to our room and said that our baby was a rock star. They had placed a silo bag around her organs to prevent infection. Although she was stabilized, she was fighting for her life the moment she was born.
Though we hoped for the best, there was no guarantees. I still remember Dr. Bendenstenzel telling us, we see miracles here every day, and Astella could be one of them. So we are going to do everything we could to fight for her. The NICU staff went above and beyond to take care of Astella and us. It was more than a job for them. They made the hospital feel as close to home as possible. I still think fondly of the cute headbands and outfits the nurses would dress Astella in. And we so appreciate their daily focus to get us home.
After 140 long days in the NICU, we were discharged. We were ready to start life as a family. Then after 10 months and multiple procedures, we finally had 1 layer of skin covering her belly.
There are so many things we will never take advantage of. You know, the simple things like hearing a baby cry, feeding her, and just holding her without having to ask for permission. every dirty diaper we change is still a blessing. Those things did not come easy for us.
Astella is now 1, and I often stop to think of how far we've come. She's doing things we weren't sure she'd ever be able to do. Swimming for the first time was a huge milestone. Here was our baby who beat all odds and was splashing around in a pool despite being born with her organs outside of her body. And seeing her eat is a miracle in itself. Now we are just struggling with the normal parenting things that happen when you have a healthy kid, and we couldn't be more thrilled. Astella will need ongoing medical care, but given where she started, she's doing remarkably well.
The care Astella received at Children's was exceptional. The Midwest Fetal Care Team was so committed to creating the very best plan for Astella from the moment they saw her first ultrasound. Simply put, there are no words to thank the people that work together to save your child's life. That's why we stepped out of our comfort zone tonight to speak here. Thank you to each and every one of the doctors and nurses. Also, Children's would not be what it is today without the generosity of the donors who believe in the hospital and their mission. We experienced it firsthand, and there are so many people that will follow in our footsteps. Who will be grateful for this hospital and the beautiful care it has to offer. Thank you for letting us share our story tonight. Now, and now we'd like to introduce Astella, our first-hand experience with a true miracle. Can you say hi?
Look at all these people.